Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are discussing Kset 2024 question paper. In that, the eigenvectors of the matrix 0, 1, minus 1, 0 are. In this problem, we have to find eigenvectors. They have given a matrix that is denoted by A, which is equal to 0, 1, minus 1, 0 is a 2 cross 2 matrix. We find the eigenvectors. First we find eigenvalues. Therefore the characteristics equation is stick equation is that a minus lambda I equal to 0. We have another equation lambda square minus s1 lambda plus s2 is equal to 0. In these two equations, we use one equation to find the eigenvalues. First, we are using that a minus lambda equal to 0. First, we find a minus lambda which is equal to, they have given a as 0, 1, minus 1, 0, minus lambda, I is identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. Then which is equal to 0 minus lambda into 1 minus lambda, then 1 minus lambda into 0 is minus 0, then minus 1 minus lambda into 0 0 0, then minus 1 minus lambda into plus 1 is minus lambda, which is equal to minus lambda 1 minus 1 minus lambda, that is a minus lambda I. Now we have to find that a minus lambda equal to that of minus lambda 1 minus 1 minus lambda, which is equal to minus lambda into minus lambda plus lambda square minus minus 1 into 1 minus 1 minus 1, which is equal to lambda square minus 1 into minus 1 plus 1. We know that a minus lambda equal to 0. Therefore, that a minus lambda equal to 0. Lambda square plus 1 equal to 0. Then lambda square equal to minus 1. Then lambda equal to plus or minus I. Lambda 1 equal to I and lambda 2 is equal to minus I. We got lambda 1 and lambda 2 values. These are the eigenvalues. Now we have to find eigenvector. To find eigenvector, we have one equation, that is a minus lambda I into x is equal to 0. Here x is a eigenvector. We have to find this x only. Then we know that a minus lambda I means minus lambda 1 minus 1 minus lambda. We find this a minus lambda. Then x means x and y. This is a column matrix which is having unknown elements x and y. We have to find these x and y to find the eigenvector. That lambda value, first one, we consider lambda equal to I. Then minus lambda means minus I. 1 minus 1 minus lambda means minus I into xy is equal to 0. Then we multiply first row with first column. Then minus x into I plus y equal to 0. Then second row with first column. Then minus x minus iy equal to 0. In these two equations, we use one equation. Here I am using first equation, minus xi plus y equal to 0. Then minus xi equal to minus y. Minus minus get cancelled. Then xi equal to y. This can be written as I into x, which is equal to y. To find x and y value, the coefficient must be 1. Here the coefficient is I, so we divide this term by I. I into x divided by I. Here also we are dividing by y. Then I get cancelled. X divided by y by I. Here 1 is there. Then we write the eigenvector xy, which is equal to, the value of x is denominator of the x. Denominator is 1, so the x value is 1. For the y values, the denominator is I, so the y value is 1. We get one eigenvector, that is 1 and I. Now we are finding second eigenvector for the eigenvalue lambda equal to minus I. To find eigenvector is the a minus lambda I into x, which is equal to 0. We know that a minus lambda equal to minus lambda 1 minus 1 minus lambda into x means x y, which is equal to 0. We know that lambda value, here we are putting lambda value, lambda equal to minus I, 1 minus 1 minus lambda is minus 1 into x y, which is equal to 0. Now minus into minus plus I, 1 minus 1 minus into minus plus I into x y, which is equal to 0. Now we are multiplying first row with first column, that is I into x, ix plus 1 into y, y, which is equal to 0. Now second row with first column, minus x plus iy equal to 0. Here we are considering first equation to find x and y value, that is ix plus y equal to 0. Then ix equal to minus y. Then we know that to find the x and y value, the coefficient of x and y is 1. So we divide this ix divided by I. Then I into x divided by I, which is equal to minus y. Here also we are dividing this y term divided by I. I get cancelled. Then x by 1 is equal to minus y by I. Then x by 1, the coefficient of y will be 1, not minus 1. So minus goes to denominator. Then y divided by minus I. Now we find the x and y value. Xy is equal to, the denominator of x is 1 and the denominator of y is minus I. Therefore, the eigenvectors are 1 I and 1 minus I.